To begin our city Collagraph, we are going to need 2 pieces of paper, at least 1 crayon, and dark colors work better. Glue, liquid glue does work better than glue sticks, but you could use a glue stick. Get scissors, and most importantly, you will need thin cardboard that comes from maybe a cereal box or a pack of sodas. Now, with that crayon, we are going to need to peel away the paper. And I know you're thinking, hey, well, I like to take care of my crayons. I like to have the names. But in this case, it's going to be worth it. Go ahead and peel away the paper from the crayon because we are going to be coloring with it sideways, and throw away your garbage, of course. Now, we have our cardboard that we picked out. And we are going to start cutting this cardboard. And remember, you're cutting away from your hand so that you don't accidentally snip your finger. So cut away from your hand. We're going to be cutting rectangles, squares, different geometric shapes. Ones that you think might look good for buildings. Here, I'm going to cut 2 little small rectangles. We'll see what we can do with that. I'm going to place these in an arrangement that looks a little bit like a city to me. Maybe we're making New York City, or if you've ever been to the Big Apple or any big city before, you might have an idea of how you want your cityscape to look. It's a triangle, maybe a roof. And just for the heck of it, I made a moon. If you want to make a moon, you can, but it's not necessary. I'm going to now take these pieces and begin gluing them onto my white piece of paper. Now, when I glue, I want you to use just a very little bit on the edges. You do not want to overglue this, because then you'll have a little squishy mess, and we don't want that. Figure out where you want each piece to go. I'm going to create about 3 little dots on each edge, and then press firmly so it attaches to the paper. Any arrangement does not have to be the same arrangement as mine. I love to see what type of shapes and arrangement of buildings that you come up with. But just remember, a little bit of glue is all you need. If you are going to be making a moon, it could be a crescent or a half moon. You could also trace something that is circular and then cut that out. Glue it down. Take your time. I think we're almost ready. I made this interesting little shape that I'm going to use as something like a chimney. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it looks like something I could imagine being on the top of a building or a skyscraper, and maybe even an antenna. Once we are beginning to have everything glued down, and you'll notice that I do have a lot of overlapping happening. I have buildings over the others. I'm going to need to give it about 5 to 10 minutes to dry. That way, when we go to make our Collagraph, we don't have our paper sticking to the buildings. I am finished. It is all dry. I'm going to tape it down on the edges, which is optional. I'm doing this just so the paper doesn't move. Get your second piece of paper, put it over. I'm going to tape this as well. And that just makes it easier, but you could also just try to hold the paper down the best you can. Now notice my crayon, it is sideways. I'm just laying it flat on the paper and rubbing. First, I am rubbing vertical, up and down. But you're also welcome to rub horizontally, which means side to side, or diagonally. Just rub as wherever you can or however you can to try to get those buildings to stand out. What's really awesome about this is that you could actually just take the top piece of paper away and try it again. You could try with a different color or just give it a couple attempts. You could really make as many Collagraphs as you want out of that cardboard construction that we just created. Now I'm going a little bit over my moon. And remember, whatever color you're using, you want to make sure it's probably a dark color, like dark blue, purple, black. That way it just stands out a little bit better, creating a little bit more contrast. Now you could probably stop here, but I'm going to continue just a little bit more to see if I can get those buildings to pop out the best that I can. I'm considering myself complete. I'm going to peel away the tape and remove, and here we have our finished cityscape Collagraph. Cannot wait to see the cityscape that you create.